Hi there everyone, I hope you're all well and welcome back to a quick weekly outlook. So we wouldn't normally do this, we'd probably stick to the FX pairs and the commodities. But due to what happened last week across quite a few cryptocurrency pairs, I thought I'd just basically put together a quick video kind of showing my analysis and what I personally think is going to happen across the board with certain cryptocurrencies. So what we are going to do is look at XRP, Ethereum, Bitcoin, and Sol, and then what we will do is just obviously identify kind of what the market's doing, the behaviors from it, and then see what's what. So starting off with XRP, because this is the one which is making the headlines recently. Last week what we saw was price actually break out of this 0.6 area, and then what happened was this huge bullish candle, and this is the weekly time frame. What we saw was that price came up, took out the highs at 0.9, and then following that, we had a big retracement, and which is still ongoing. And that's basically one due to profit taking, and then also sellers potentially entering the market from these weekly highs. So what can we look to expect moving forward? Well, as we saw, it was this level which was broken at in and around the 0.6 area. It was just below it. I would personally say that a discounted price to be able to buy XRP again would be the 0.6 area. Main reason being, if we just see naturally what happens with these cryptocurrencies, especially on the weekly time frame, is that when you have a high or a low like so, price tends to come back and retest it. Vice versa, we had a low, came back, retested it with a high, and so on and so forth. So you can see what happens regarding these. And then same again, we had a low, break, retest. Now a high was made. Super simple stuff. It doesn't have to be complicated. Due to it being the weekly time frame, it is usually a lot cleaner and clearer to see kind of what's going on. So a break retest of this area here doesn't necessarily have to be this week, but it can be moving forward. Would be a potential nice area to place some buys. You can see there is as well an upwards channel. So if price can come in and around to this area, then obviously we're looking to see a potential reaction there. Obviously, still need to be mindful of these highs here, because at the end of the day, this 0.9 area is a big area that we would need to break. If we do in fact break this area here, then realistically, we may see price push up to the 1.35 area. So potentially something you could maybe see is price come back up here, have a pullback, we may have a push again. We could potentially come back to retest this area, but we'll have to see. But then same, push up to this area, in and around the 1.35 before a potential pullback again. So that is maybe something which could happen. Obviously, the move isn't going to happen as clean as that, because we all know that it's the market. It's never as simple as that. But pretty much break retest of 0.6, and then I would be looking to, and I am personally going to, start buying. If we also move this zone left, you can see here we had reactions, and again, it's been a well-respected level, this 0.6, over and over again. So that's my predictions for XRP, and that is basically the plays I'm going to do. Buy in at 0.6, take some profits at 0.9, and then leave the rest to run. If we look at Ethereum, obviously we haven't seen the moves that we did on XRP. Obviously Bitcoin and Ethereum didn't move as much. They are bigger players within the market. But what we can potentially see moving forward for the upcoming week is that in and around this area here, we have a lot of reactions. So we've got a high here. Obviously this price kind of messed about there. We've got a low, high, and then we are still now kind of coming up into this area. As well, we can see that price is moving upwards in a channel as well. So potentially what we might want to do is just have a look and see where we may look to see, you know, some discounted prices. Where may they be? Well, if we look what's happened recently, where price currently is now, it's actually trading in and around quite a nice key level. So if you look here, you can see we've had a lot of touches there. Price came and respected it there. Bit of a liquidity grab there before pushing further down, and then it was continuously respected. So realistically, I am going to be looking to buy in Ethereum at the 1700 level. Once again, we need to be wary of this pretty much 2000 area due to how, obviously, how much reactions we've seen there. But what you could maybe see is that if price breaks this area here, then best case scenario, you may look at price coming up into the 3,200 area. So I will personally be looking to long from 1,700 just due to this upwards channel. Obviously, this is best case scenario. We don't know what's going to happen. At the end of the day, price could also slam through this trend line. But overall, we can see market structure was bearish. We've started to shift to the upside. We've made a higher high here. And now, obviously, if we look potentially coming back into the 1,700 region before price can potentially push up further. And then obviously some extended targets could be 3,400. So that's Ethereum broken down. Doesn't need to be much more complicated than that. Bitcoin, if you look, is pretty much identical. So once again, if we look here, we can see we've got a channel, third touch of a trend line, which happened in and around that area there. So once again, a well-respected area. That there was a very simple trade in and around the 25,000 region, simply because you had a channel, break retest of a high on there, and then also you most likely had a fib as well, the 38 fib. So just from that perspective there, that was obviously a trade which potentially played out. Moving forward, what could I expect to maybe see? Well, realistically, if price does come into this area up here, in and around 33,000, we may see some weakness. But overall, I know most people are looking to buy and are obviously bullish on a lot of crypto. So what I'm going to say personally is maybe if we come into the 25,500 region again, we may see another reaction. And if that level was to get broken, coming into the 20,000 region are two areas that I would look to buy Bitcoin personally. So obviously, I'm going to potentially take some buys in and around 26,000. As well, 20,000 if it manages to get there, but then just be wary of this 33,000 area because we may start to see some weakness. If price does continue to push, areas we may maybe see is something like up here, or about 46,000, call it. So realistically, you could maybe take some profits here, but then continue to ride it up. So these are some areas I'm personally looking at. As always, this is a weekly perspective. We don't need to confuse it and start getting technical on the 1 hour. This is more of a long-term investment outlook rather than just day trading, okay? So the main thing is going to be getting into the trade and potentially just holding. So that is Bitcoin. Finally, if we look at Sol, you can see not much has happened at all on this pair. Pretty much minimal movement. You can see realistically price has been trading in and around this range for a while. If we give an overall look at what we can see, is simply price is trading in and around this area here. So if price manages to break above this 28 region, then you would maybe look for buy bias from 28 and then continue to ride it up like so. And that's pretty much all that needs doing. So the analysis for Sol isn't really that complicated. If you look, you can maybe say as well that price has broken this kind of channel here. But for me personally, I am going to be waiting for the 28 region. So that was just a quick video really breaking down, obviously, these four cryptos. The main thing is going to be XRP buys at 0.6, simply because the technical side of it looks really, really good. So for what we're going to do now, guys, we'll take that video here. Hopefully you've obviously learned something and some of these players play out. They are in the free group as well. The link is in the bio. So yes, guys, if you want to see us, then join the groups. But besides that, we'll see you in the next video.